still managed to pick up that big victorial. But, you know, Hen, Janice were also playing as a duo, and then also they lost Matzo from Benji and Amplify as well. So all duos playing in the end game and still managing to secure a ton of points just shows how good these teams really, really are.
Yeah, I want to highlight Anderlecht, Snazy, and Xqueeze there in ninth, right? They got fourth in that final game there. And so to see, you know, what they can do, they had a great start yesterday. They had another similar-ish start where, you know, they had a really good first game and things sort of tailored off towards the back end. So can they sort of, you know, sustain this level of performance over the course of the next, you know, 5 games? If they can, then I'm sure they're going to push way higher than ninth. But it's all about being able to put that into motion. Keycoat, Slender, and Mosh, that victorial pushes them way back up. They were nowhere near the top 10 when we looked on the leaderboard. Now they are, right? So just one victory, not even victory, I keep saying a victory, they didn't win the game. Just one second place alone, you know, is enough to push you so far up the standings.
I think you were trying to project onto them. Hopefully these guys are going to pick up that victorial, you know? They got it yesterday. You know, their games yesterday were interesting because they were actually battling back and forth between Anderlecht, Snazy, and Egg. We see Kiko's team landing in Retail Row, and then we see also Anderlecht's team landing down in Kai Corner. So they're kind of opposing Storm Surge strategies, right? They need to fight against each other. But in that game, they ended up actually not. So both performed. No, you said and fourth today as well.
Anything goes right now, Fortnite fam. With 5 games left, who will be our new FNCS Trios champion? We're getting closer to find out. But for now, we're aboard the battle bus once again and back into the action. It's Shy Wager, it's Sancho West. Over to you guys.
Who will be our Trios FNCS champion might be the hardest question to answer because the variables are changing each and every game.
And how chaotic those variables were changed. It's kind of formula, it's all set, everyone had it, but literally the entire formula has changed. We're no longer edge fighting here on storms. We're no longer hanging out trying to get simple storm tags from a distance. We are getting in the nitty gritty. We are getting right up in people's grills and trying to get them out of this competition with some aggressive play. Just seeing Advisor's trio literally land on Cammy's on that split on one of those trio members, like that in itself shows you how aggressive people are. And for the first time in a long time, Shio, we may have a zone being up north. And that's going to be spending some great news for Hen's trio, who's been always making these crazy south migrations, right? Finally, they get one in their backyard. So it's going to be interesting to see if they're able to walk away with the victory out. And one thing to point out, though, is we saw that Hen and Janice were going in there basically in that final movings is basically as duos, right? And what will we say? They will find a way to get some good placement out of that and get some elims. And they ended up in third place, Hen getting all the way to that point. And that's what's been working so well for them. And if you try to do that formula or somebody else, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't make sense. It shouldn't work. But Hen, they end up making it work so well.
This is like the one math class that I love because I can actually understand it and follow it through, right? Because expecting good players to play great, I feel like I'm actually at home and now I'm learning. Still, though, for Matzo, Amplify, Benji, that last game, huge for them to take over at first at one of the best positions. They were being one tier to third now. They're still kind of in that running. It's just 5 points of a difference. But you have to remember, Sancho, right? When these teams have an opportunity to steal a game over, when they have an opportunity to be the guys controlling the lobby, and they miss it, that hurts because that opportunity doesn't come every single time.
Speaking of opportunities, looks like Lame's trio and Malibuka's trio have decided to see their luck at Steamy Stacks, and I think Andretta has decided to, like, hey, I'm out of here. Now we're going to take a look at the overall scope of things and seeing if there's any other kind of engagements happening. And that middle zone, that is Michael's trio, and they have been doing so well throughout the rotations and taking advantage of those crystals.
Absolutely, those crystals letting you just jump back and forth. The 0-point crystals, of course, have so much more flexibility. That overhead map shot is just really cool too. You're noticing that a lot of trios are splitting more and getting more, being a little bit greedy off their POIs.
Oh yeah, this is huge.
It makes it look like a beautiful painting, though. It's nice. We get art inside Fortnite amongst
knowing that Paco has been
Revoke my... This is Agent Jones requesting access to all materials